So, if you've been watching me, you know that I didn't like the last Borderlands, but I'm kind of excited about Borderlands 2. I've already pre-ordered it, I got access to the Necromancer and all of that. But the last Borderlands was shit to me, but I've been watching videos on this new one and it looks pretty good. So I'm going to give it a try and see what I can do with it. Now, I've been looking at the character Zero and I'm thinking about starting to build with him. I think I'm going to make one of these assassin characters, and then I'm going to make a Necromancer once it becomes available. So, I'm going to go over the skill tree and kind of give you an idea of what I'm going to do with this character. From playing the last game, I found out that sniper rifles were kind of useless. They weren't as viable as the other weapon types in the game. Basically, the damage was low on them, and you had to fight mobs all the time. You really can't snipe mobs. Like, this isn't Call of Duty. You can't go around headshotting a bunch of mobs because they'll just overwhelm you. And the damage is rather low on the sniper rifles. I've picked up sniper rifles in the game that did like 20 damage. Meanwhile, there's a submachine gun that does 45. So it's like I got a single shot bolt action weapon that only does 20 damage, and it requires me, and it only has like 5 or 10 shots in it, and it requires me to be pinpoint accurate all the time with a mob of 30 guys. Meanwhile, I got the submachine gun that does more than double the damage, and I can just spray these guys down. So, you know, I had the misfortune of playing with Mordecai in the first Borderlands, and it was kind of stupid because the sniper rifles were just a waste of my time. You can't snipe mobs, and you're going to get close, so you can't sit back and snipe unless you got a partner who's playing the tank for you, who's just you know, running up, taking all the damage while you pick people off. And the sniper rifles just weren't worth using in the last game. So I kind of, you know, it was my fault really. Like, I used the character that pretty much sucked, and so I kind of had a bad experience with the first Borderlands. But I've been watching videos on this one. I've been watching how it works, and it looks real good, and I think I'm going to try it. So basically, my idea is, you know, I'm going to go with submachine guns and shotguns. Because this game is all about the guns. This game has 50 bazillion guns. It's all about guns and what type of damage they have and how to hurt the enemy. And the first idea I had was, you know, I wanted to find which one of these trees should I go to the bottom of. And I chose the bloodshed tree. Right here, bloodshed. The reason I chose this one because it has Many Must Fall. And Many Must Fall is pretty much the best, like, you know, final ability I've seen. Like, critical ascension, it's not that great. It only works with sniper rifles, and you have to get a critical hit every time. It sounds good, but it doesn't. I doubt this will be practical or play out well. Cunning is a little bit better, but, you know, Death Blossom's a little better. But I didn't see much that I really, you know, I didn't see much in Death Blossom. But Many Must Fall look real good. Killing an enemy with the melee while in deception will while deception is active, causes you to deploy another holographic decoy, re-stealth, and adds time to your deception duration. That sounds fantastic. So I figured I would go to the bottom of this one because you need to go to the bottom of one of them. You need to specialize in some way. You can't just pick and choose from them and go halfway through all of them. You got to commit to one of them. I think. You don't have to. Now, this might change in the future builds. Different builds might become viable and things might change. But I chose to go to the bottom of this one. This is the build I'm going to be shooting for. And I want to focus on crit, you know, so I get, you know, extra damage to put the enemies down fast, a little bit of health, and a little bit of melee. Melee, you know, it seems pretty good, but, you know, maybe some other people want to focus more on melee, but I only want to focus on melee a little, because the fact of the matter is I got a gun. I got 2 guns. I'm going to be putting a lot of rounds down range. I'm not going to be doing too much hitting unless it's an emergency, so I'm not going to focus too much on the melee. Now, I want to talk about what I put together right here. So, in the bloodshed tree, I went with Iron Hands. Increase your melee damage and your maximum health. Simply because it was just better than Killing Blow. It massively increases melee damage against enemies with low health. I don't give a fuck about, you know, I want damage across the board, not just against guys with low health. So this increases your melee damage and your health. I can use that. Like water seems like a pretty good thing, but it's like you have to go back and forth. Like, shooting damage increases your next melee damage increases your next shot. I felt like I didn't need that to go down the tree to because every time you click one of these, you go down the tree a little further. I felt like Grim was a little bit better. So killing an enemy causes your shields to quickly regenerate and increase your action time cooldown rate for a few seconds. So that's good. I got a better cooldown rate. I can do deception a little more, and I got better health. So that's always good. This one, follow through. Killing an enemy increases your movement speed, melee damage, and gun damage for a few seconds. I'm all about that. That sounds like some straight up RPG shit that I could use. I thought about this one. Execute seemed like a good skill, but you can easily take a point out of any one of these and put it in execute. Execute seems pretty good. While deception's active and the target's under your crosshair, you can dash forward to a short distance to perform a special melee attack. That sounds invaluable. You might run out of bullets. You might be facing a couple guys or a strong guy, and unless you do a special melee attack, I don't know what that is exactly, but it only costs 1 point, and you might want to invest in it. You can or can't. It depends on how you want to play. But dealing massive damage sounds great. Then I just push these down to the end till I got to the end of bloodshed. Resurgence, killing the enemy with a melee attack, restores health. That's always good. Like the wind, while moving you gain increased melee damage and gun damage. Yeah, I need that. And then many must fall. This is great. It gives you more gives you more holograms, lets you do more. Pushes the limits of your deception. It's just all around good, and it's, in my opinion, it's better than the others. Now, if you want, you can focus on stuff like fast hands, weapon swap and reload faster. Reload faster sounds good. There's some good things in this tier. Like this one, Innervate. The deception, while deception is active, you gain increased gun damage, health regeneration, and movement speed. That sounds amazing. So if you want to explore this one, go right ahead. I may change in the future. I may once I get the build I want, and I say this is fun, I might change it up and try to explore this tree. But this tree seemed to not have as much of the things as I wanted. I wanted to focus on. But things could change in the future. I could, new builds might become viable, and I might want to try them. So with this tree, I figured headshot was, I can't even skip it. Increases critical hit damage, and critical hit damage plus 20 once it's already leveled up. I'm glad they have this whole tree put together on their website, because you can just go in and look at what kind of build you want to build, and you don't have to waste points and have to respec to get your points back and redo them. You can just figure out what you want to do now and move forward. Killer. Killing an enemy gives you bonus crit hit damage and reload speed for a few seconds. I can't argue with that. Reload speed plus 75% once it's maxed out. Critical hit damage plus 50 once it's maxed out. This one wasn't too bad. Precision. It improves your accuracy with all guns. That's you really can't beat that, but the fact is, this one has two abilities while this one only has one. I thought about precision, but Killer looked a little better. And then there was one shot, one kill. This seemed absolutely stupid. The first shot fired from a fully loaded magazine causes bonus damage. Like, really? The first shot? What if I miss it? That seemed ridiculous. Bore. Now this seemed exceptional. Your shots pierce through enemies. If your shot hits an enemy after piercing an enemy, it causes massive bonus damage. Bore does not work with rockets and some special projectiles. Also, while deception is active, your visor will highlight enemy crit locations. I mean, are you serious? I could take a submachine gun that does like 50 damage and spray through guys' crit spots and just cause a stupid amount of damage. With all the crit bonuses and everything I got boosting it up and all that other shit. That's amazing. That you have to take this. Velocity increases bullet damage, bullet speed, damage, critical hit damage. That's just ridiculous. I might even put 5 points into this. And only, it's not even maxed out, and it already does bullet speed plus 100, critical hit damage plus 15, and gun, and then basically I have to split it between these two. And then kill confirmed, aiming down the sights will grant you a bonus to critical hit damage. The longer you aim down the sights, the greater the bonus. That sounds crazy. The longer you're aimed down your sights, so you could just ADS until you empty the clip and get a shitload of bonus damage. You can't beat that. So this is looking like it's going to work out for me. I'm going to try for this build. I mean, you can try whatever build you like. I'm going to be playing on Steam. I already pre-ordered it. And once I get through the Assassin class, I can't wait to try the Necromancer. So I'm going to be going hard on this and putting up some videos. But yeah, like I said, things may change. But this is the build I'm going to be shooting for right here. And yeah, especially for the bloodshed, many must fall. I'm gonna be shooting for something like this. I'm gonna be playing kind of hard. If you catch me on Steam, hit me up, jump in the game. And as always, if you like this commentary, give it a thumbs up. And if you don't, give that shit a thumbs down. I'll catch you motherfuckers later.